request all of you to kindly be seated as we are about to begin shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, last and final announcement to settle down. Our chief guests are on our way. Please occupy the seats. Put your mobile phones on silent mode or switch off mode. We'll be commencing the program shortly.
Good evening, distinguished guests, respected members of Kerala Management Association, invited dignitaries, partners, well-wishers and friends. On behalf of the Kerala Management Association, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the inauguration ceremony of the 68th year of KMA activities, a celebration of leadership, collaboration and vision. We are gathered here this evening at the magnificent Vivanta by Taj Marine Drive, not just to mark the start of a new year, but to salute a proud legacy, a legacy that has spanned nearly 7 decades of excellence in management thinking and practice. Kerala Management Association has always been more than just an association. It is a movement of minds, a forum for dialogue, and a platform for change. Every year, we reflect on our past achievements, celebrate the present, and set the tone for a brighter future. And this evening, we do all three.
The theme for the year ahead is clear: 360-degree management mindset, purpose, people, planet, and profit. And to take us into this new chapter, we have with us a team of dedicated professionals, inspiring leaders, and visionary mentors. We also have the honor of welcoming 2 outstanding personalities tonight: Admiral R. Harikumar, former Chief of Naval Staff, as our chief guest, and Mr. Rajan Singh, former IPS officer turned entrepreneur, our guest of honor. Their presence here adds immense value and meaning to this occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin this special evening, I request you to kindly take your seats and switch off your mobile phones to silent mode.
We are delighted to welcome each one of you to the inauguration of the 68th year of the Kerala Management Association. Let us begin this evening with a glimpse into the spirit and legacy of this prestigious institution, presenting the KMA introduction video. Onto the screen, please.
The Kerala Management Association was registered under the Travancore Kochi Literary, Scientific and Charitable Societies Registration Act in 1957. The association was soon affiliated to All India Management Association, AIMA, New Delhi, and started functioning as its local resource center. Objectives were well crafted right from the beginning. It was a journey with a purpose to build a strong business community through healthy interaction between corporate leaders and management gurus. This has helped many companies to surge ahead with sound professional management practices. A growing economy often ushers in new trends in the market. Regular seminars and interactive workshops are conducted by KMA to keep up with the ever-changing market requirements. A 2-day annual management convention is conducted during the first quarter of every year, which is attended by over 1,000 delegates from all across Kerala. Eminent speakers of national and international repute lead this prestigious event. KMA has many such successful initiatives. Evening lectures by eminent people. CEO Conclave. Management Students Forum. Young Managers Forum. Sector-specific seminars. Women Managers Forum are some of them. KMA is active in the social media networking sites. It also has a comprehensive website, www.kma.org.in. KMA is managed by a managing committee comprising of prominent industry and corporate heads and functions at its own premises at Panambali Nagar, Cochin. The long-cherished dream of renovating the KMA building at Panambali Nagar became a reality, has one big conference hall, 3 small meeting halls, and 1 boardroom. The main hall is named Lulu Hall. The other halls are Cochin Shipyard Hall, Geojet Hall, and Muthoot FinCorp Hall. Corporate companies are awarded KMA Excellence Awards in 5 different categories, which promote healthy competition for excellence among members. Membership. A membership in KMA offers opportunities to interact with the top management leaders in Kerala to share knowledge and skills, thereby commanding respect and credibility to your organization. Corporate membership is open to business houses, government enterprises, educational institutions, etc. Any individual who meets the norms set by KMA can enroll as life members on payment of the fees as a lump sum. Senior citizens only have to pay half the fee. For more details, please contact Executive Director, Kerala Management Association.
That was a great introduction video for KMA. Now, as we prepare to usher in a new year, let us take a brief moment to look back and celebrate the achievements of 2024-25, a year of bold initiatives, learning and leadership, presenting a year that was.
(2024-25) was a remarkable year for the Kerala Management Association. A year that blended vision with action, tradition with innovation, and leadership with impact. From the very beginning, we set ourselves a bold challenge. One impactful program every single week. With the unconditional support of our members, the dedication of our committees, and the vision of the managing committee, we not only met the goal, we exceeded it. In total, we conducted 70 high-quality programs covering diverse dimensions of management and leadership, featuring 138 distinguished speakers with an average attendance of 86 delegates per evening session. Each session was thoughtfully curated, ranging from strategy and innovation to entrepreneurship, sustainability, and digital transformation. No two programs were the same, be it the theme or the relevance. Every gathering was a new opportunity to learn, grow, and connect. A true highlight of the year was the launch of our new initiative, Young Minds, an exclusive platform for nurturing the next generation of leaders, entrepreneurs, and professionals. We welcomed 50 dynamic young minds into this vibrant ecosystem, enabling them to ideate, engage, and lead with confidence. Young Minds is not just a program, it's a movement built to shape the future of leadership in Kerala and beyond. This was also a year of transformational upgrades to our infrastructure. As part of our green commitment, we installed a state-of-the-art climate LED wall, which will serve not only as a branding asset, but also as a source of recurring revenue for the coming years. We also commissioned a 15 kilowatt solar panel, reducing our dependence on non-renewable energy and lowering our carbon footprint. And to enhance the reach and quality of our programs, we invested in a modern sound and recording system, enabling us to archive and publish our sessions in broadcast level quality on social media and digital platforms. This ensures that the knowledge shared within these walls travels far and wide, impacting professionals across sectors. Beyond the numbers, beyond the programs, what truly made this year special was teamwork. Every committee rose to the occasion. Every goal was not just met, but surpassed. We operated with purpose. We executed with passion. As we look back on a fulfilling year, we carry forward the momentum, the learnings, and the legacy of 2024-25. The Kerala Management Association stands strong as a beacon of leadership, knowledge, and collaboration. The journey continues, and the best is yet to come. May I now request our President, Mr. K. Harikumar, and Secretary Anil K. Verma to escort the Chief Guest and Guest of Honor to the dais. Also requesting immediate past President Bibu Punuran to join them on the dais.
To begin on an auspicious note, let us invoke the divine blessings. I invite Sharat AK and Lakshmi TA from SEMS College to render the prayer. I request everyone to kindly rise and join in.
Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्.
Thank you, Sharad and Lakshmi. And now to formally welcome all of you this evening, may I invite to the podium Mr. Aljaze Khalid, Senior Vice President of Kerala Management Association. Let us put our hands together for Mr. Aljaze Khalid.
Distinguished dignitaries on and off the dais, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to everyone. As we gather this evening at the splendid waterfront hall of Vivanta, the video presentation we just witnessed reminds us of the incredible journey we have taken together over the past year. Yes, the best is yet to come. Isn't it amazing how much we have accomplished last year? It serves not just as a reflection of our shared path, but as a celebration of our resilience, innovation, and steadfast commitment to spearheading the management movement. Let us now give a loud applause, round of applause to our 24-25 President, Mr. Bibu Punuran, for his inspiring leadership and effective stewardship throughout the vibrant past year. Looking further back, what an extraordinary 67 years it has been for Kerala Management Association. Founded with a visionary spark, our journey has been marked not only by longevity, but also by continuous evolution and relevance. Each one of you here today is part of this legacy, and I invite you to take pride in the role you play in carrying it forward. Let us also salute the outstanding contribution of our 53 past presidents who have worked tirelessly and conscientiously to build the credibility and respect that KMA enjoys today. Thanks to their dedication, KMA stands tall not only as a founding member of All India Management Association, but also as one of the best local management associations in the country. We have been honored with that recognition 12 times in recent years. And with the phenomenal variety of programs delivered last year, I'm confident that immediate past President, Mr. Bibu Punuran, will proudly receive for the 13th time the Best LMA Award for KMA from All India Management Association later in August this year. It fills me with great joy to welcome you all to the inauguration of KMA's activities for the year ahead. Let me begin by extending a warm and respectful welcome to our chief guest, who has graciously traveled from Thiruvananthapuram to be with us this evening. Sir, we are truly honored by your presence here today. On behalf of the President and the entire KMA fraternity, I extend a warm welcome to the former Chief of Naval Staff, Admiral R. Harikumar, PVSM, AVSM, VSM, ADC. While we are privileged to have a distinguished Admiral known for exemplary leadership, we are equally honored to welcome a visionary civil servant turned entrepreneur, a former IPS officer, an alumnus of IIT Kanpur, and from the Wharton, the prestigious Wharton Business School. He now leads HabitStrong, tackling some of the most pressing challenges of our times: productivity, digital addiction, lack of focus, and anxiety. Please join me in warmly welcoming our guest of honor for the evening, Mr. Rajan Singh, founder of HabitStrong and formerly of IPS, McKinsey, and NSR Private Equity. We are truly delighted to have you with us as we step into this new KMA year. A hearty welcome to our most respected past president sitting here in the front row. Your presence tonight reminds us of a strong foundation and vision upon which this institution was built over the years. A special welcome to the distinguished members of the Managing Committee, both outgoing and incoming. Your commitment, time, and insight form the backbone of our continuous progress. And to our Executive Committee, whose experience and foresight will be vital as we navigate both challenges and opportunities in the months ahead. Thank you and welcome to the inaugural function. Youth brings fresh energy and bold ideas and optimism. You are not just the future of KMA, you are the vital part of the present. A special welcome to the vibrant young minds who are with us today. And above all, to every member of KMA. You are the soul of this organization. Your passion and unwavering support continue to drive the quality and impact of our programs. Tonight, we come together not just to launch a new calendar of events, but to reaffirm our shared commitment to growth, learning, and leadership. Let us walk into this new chapter with a renewed sense of purpose, carrying forward the values that have defined KMA's excellence over the past 67 years. May this year be filled with inspiration, achievement, collaboration, and meaningful connection that continue to strengthen our management fraternity. Welcome once again to the inaugural event of KMA 25-26. Let us embark on an exciting journey together. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Algiz Khalid. Now to introduce the visionary who will steer KMA through the coming year, may I invite Ms. Lekha Balachandran, Joint Secretary, to introduce the new president.
Good evening, all. I am much privileged to introduce our beloved incoming present president of KMA, Shri K. Harikumar. Shri K. Harikumar, the president of KMA, is the current CEO of Kottakkal Arya Vaidyashala and a distinguished leader with an extensive career across both public and private sector enterprises. Since 2003, he has held several board-level positions, exemplifying visionary leadership and strategist acumen. He served as the chairman and managing director of HIL India Limited, New Delhi, for over a decade. Under his leadership, the company witnessed a remarkable turnaround and was honored with the award for the excellence and outstanding contribution to the public sector by then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. He also received the prestigious Turnaround Award from SWILE, the Bureau of Recognitions and Public Sector Enterprises. He was also invited by the Government of India to hold additional charge as the chairman and managing director of IDPL for a brief period. Shri Harikumar was the managing director of Travancore Cochin Chemicals for over 7 years, during which he simultaneously held additional charge of Malabar Cements and Kerala State Drug and Pharmaceutical Limited. In recognition for the exceptional contributions, he was awarded the Best Managing Director Award by the Government of Kerala in 2022. He also served as the Vice Chairman for the Center for Management Development, a premier research-driven management consulting institution under the Government of Kerala for 3 years. The positions he has held and holding include the member of Outside Export Committee of ONGC, independent director and chairman of the Audit Committee of KSC Limited, former president of Cochin Chamber of Commerce, and Industry from 2020 to 2022. The former member of National Chemical Committee of FICCI, was an active member of CIA Council on Public Sector Enterprises, former board member of Crop Care Federation of India, and the director of the Standing Conference on Public Sector Enterprises, an apex body of the Central Public Sector Enterprises. Within the Kerala Management Association, he has held various leadership positions, including Vice President, Senior Vice President, and Program Committee Chair. Shri Harikumar's career reflects a legacy of transformation, innovation, and impactful leadership across sectors. We are delighted to be a president for the year, Shri Harikumar sir, with great pride and privilege. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lekha Balachandran. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to invite the President of KMA for 2025-26, Mr. K. Harikumar, to deliver the presidential address.
Thank you, Lekha, for the wonderful introduction. Chief Guest of the Day, Admiral Harikumar, Guest of Honor, Sri Rajan Singh, past presidents, managing committee members, distinguished invitees, and dear KMA members. I stand before you humbled with all humility as the president of this great institution. This institution, as you all know, represents more than 300 corporates, has more than 2,000 individual members, and these members include accomplished practicing managers, B-school students, B-school faculty, CEOs, and business leaders. As you all know, KMA has been in the forefront of spreading management education, and as told in the welcome speech, KMA has won more than 12 times the Best Local Management Award for the commitment and exemplary leadership. And it was all possible with the leadership which was provided to KMA all this time. And I also sincerely compliment Sri Bibu Punudan, who was the immediate past president, for conducting more than 70 programs with 138 speakers. Bibu, it was a wonderful year, and thank you very much. I understand the position of president is not of privilege, but of purpose. And to spread the management mantra, we have coined a theme, 360-degree management mindset, purpose, people, planet, and profit. I know it's a bit long, but every word in this has a meaning. It's a shift in perspective. It's a shift from linear thinking. And the 4 P's here, that is purpose, people, planet, and profit, they are not independent silos. They are all interconnected pillars of enduring success. Viewing management from a lens of productivity, efficiency, and profit alone is being considered myopic in the present era. Success is measured not only by growth of the top line and bottom line, or as done by the analyst, not only by EBITDA, but by the balance we strike between economic growth, social responsibility, and environmental sustainability. Let's start with the purpose, the first P. It goes beyond the mission statements. While what we do matters, it also matters why we do. A more clear purpose not only gives a vision, but also it unites teams, it inspires innovation, and it builds trust. When leaders lead with a purpose, decisions align with values and work becomes more meaningful. In a 360-degree mindset, purpose is the beginning and not an end by itself. Companies with a clear vision outperform in trust, loyalty, and talent retention. Purpose, as we all know, guides strategy, sharpens focus, and builds culture. It is the glue that holds together innovation, growth, and resilience. When we talk about the next P, that is the people, let's be clear, people are the center of everything. Employees, customers, communities. And empathy, engagement, and empowerment are no longer soft skills. This is the core of everything now. People first culture is a competitive advantage. We come to the next P, that is the planet. Let's be clear, the younger generation is more bothered about the planet, and the younger generation customers are choosing companies that care for the environment. We have been conducting ESG programs, and ESG now is not an option to any organization, but it is the core of running a business. Green in today's world is not just good, but it's good business too. And when we come to the next P, that is the profit. For any business to sustain, profit is a must. Profit funds innovation, fuels ambition, and sustains operations. Unless the business is profitable, the other piece is difficult to sustain and exist. And in a 360-degree mindset, profit follows when purpose drives action, people feel valued, and the planet is protected. It is not idealism. It is the new realism. If you ask me whether such a model works, I work in an organization now called Kottakkal Ayurvedashala, which has been existing for more than 100 years, which believes in all this. And it is not that we started today, more than 100 years. The purpose, the first P of the organization is to lessen the sufferings of the people. That is the core objective, and Loka Samastha Sugino Bhavantu is something which is being practiced there. And it's a charitable trust, it's not a company. And this trust gives more than 45% of the surplus income on running a charitable hospital, and we treat more than 2 lakh patients free every year. And the entire money goes for that. And this organization, when we talk about the people, this organization started an employee engagement and enrichment program 100 years ago. See, Ayurveda medicine production is a seasonal business, and during off-season, instead of retrenching people, instead of sending out people, they started a drama troupe so that people continue to get engaged. So what happened is people you started getting money every year, 24/7, they were engaged, or even 365 days, they were engaged. That time during the World War, when the business came down, they started building a charitable hospital so that at least the people get engaged and the people get wages. And now when we come to the planet, we have started devising many methods whereby we try to retain the planet, we try to retain the herbs we produce, because otherwise, generally in Ayurveda production, the plant as such is consumed. Instead of that, we started looking at how the other parts of the tree or a grown-up tree, whether we can break the branches and start so that the plant, so the tree as such can be preserved. When we talk about the profit, I already said the profit, nobody draws any share of the income. It's a salary-driven organization, and the profit goes for the charity, which I was just mentioning. What I am again trying to tell you is, whatever I was saying is not idealism, it is realism, and it has been practiced, and that is probably why the organization could stand the test of time, and it's more than 100 years the organization is flourishing. To conclude, 360-degree management mindset calls on all managers, leaders, and entrepreneurs to embrace complexity, widen the vision, and lead with the head as well as the heart. We have eminent speakers here, and I don't want to stand between you and the speakers. I assure that this committee will do our best to uphold the values of KMA and we will focus on quality sessions, bring you discussions on latest management topics, and together we will keep the KMA flag flying high. We are starting the KMA Inside Talk series from 4th of July, and Vasuki IAS has kindly consented to come, and she'll be the first speaker. Looking forward for the cooperation of all KMA members, let me once again say that I am humbled and grateful to all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. K. Harikumar, for that inspiring vision. Now, may I request the dignitaries on stage and all executive committee members to kindly proceed for the ceremonial lighting of the lamp, symbolizing knowledge, enlightenment, and new beginnings.
Requesting Mr. Aljays Khalid, Senior Vice President, Mr. Dilip Narayanan, Vice President, Ms. Lekha Balachandran, Joint Secretary, and Dr. Anil Joseph, Treasurer, to join the dignitaries onto the dais. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Let us now acknowledge the team that will support the President in driving KMA's mission forward, presenting the Managing Committee members for the year 25-26. We have K. Harikumar as the President, Mr. Aljays Khalid as the Senior Vice President, Mr. Dilip Narayanan as Vice President, Mr. K. Anil Verma as the Secretary, Ms. Lekha Balachandran, Joint Secretary, Dr. Anil Joseph, Treasurer, Mr. Bipu Punnuran, immediate past President, and we have Managing Committee members, Mr. Abraham Olikel, Mr. B. Balagopal, Mr. Johnson Matthew, Ms. Meena Thomas, Dr. Radha Thevanur, Mr. Ramesh Nair, Ms. Rupa George, Ms. Sujata Madhav Chandran, Mr. Tom P. Joseph, Mr. Nivedit George will be the chair for KMA Young Minds, and Mr. Anup Abraham will be the secretary for KMA Young Minds. Thank you. It is our honor and privilege to welcome a towering leader who has served the nation with distinction. Our chief guest, Admiral R. Harikumar, former Chief of Naval Staff. To introduce the chief guest, may I invite Mr. Dilip Narayanan, Vice President of KMA.
President Mr. K. Harikumar, distinguished guests, and dear KMA members, good evening. It's my honor to introduce a towering figure in India's national security landscape, Admiral R. Harikumar, PVSM, AVSM, VSM, ADC, the 25th Chief of Naval Staff of Indian Navy. In a remarkable career spanning over 4 decades, Admiral Harikumar has embodied steadfast leadership, strategic foresight, and deep commitment to the nation. His vast operational experience, having commanded 5 warships, including an aircraft carrier, speaks a lot about a life devoted to safeguarding India's maritime frontiers. As Fleet Commander of the Western Fleet, and later as Commander-in-Chief of the Western Naval Command, he led from the front, securing India's vital maritime interest in one of the most geopolitically complex regions in the world. At the highest levels of military planning, he served as Vice Chief of Defense Staff to India's first CDS. In that pivotal role, he made significant contribution to tri-service integration and helped establish the Department of Military Affairs. As Chief of Naval Staff, Admiral Harikumar ushered in bold and visionary reforms, from championing an Atmanirbhar Navy by 2047 and accelerating the adoption of disruptive technologies to advancing underwater domain awareness and inducting women into the ranks. His tenure was marked by purpose and transformation. He also introduced a 360-degree appraisal system and strengthened global maritime partnerships, extending India's naval presence from the Atlantic to the Pacific. A strategist, a reformer, and a true statesman of the seas, Admiral Harikumar has left an enduring legacy in India's defense and maritime mission. It's with deep respect and great pride that I introduce him to you this evening, Admiral R. Harikumar.
Thank you, Mr. Dilip Narayanan. And with deep respect and admiration, may I now invite Admiral R. Harikumar to address this august gathering.
Shri K. Harikumar ji, President KMA, Shri Rajan Singh ji, Guest of Honor, all the distinguished guests on dais, Admiral Sutan, Admiral Muralidharan, who have been my seniors in the service, all the members of KMA, the office bearers, guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to all of you. I am humbled actually to be here in front of you to speak to you on this occasion of the inauguration of the next office bearers of the KMA. It's a very old organization. I had earlier spoken at the IMA event about 2 years back, and I was not aware of the rich legacy of the KMA. I take this as a great honor to be here before you and speak to you. I propose to speak a little bit about the maritime domain and then what the Indian Navy does, some of the transformational management initiatives that we have brought in, and lastly about Atmanirbharta and defense. So talking of the maritime domain, it's a domain which people know very little about. We had a very rich legacy. The Indian Ocean was reported to be the oldest traveled ocean. And as far as 5,000 years back, if recorded history, there is evidence of people taking passage across the ocean. In fact, the Pacific Ocean was traveled only as late as 2,000 years back, and the Atlantic even later, just about 1,000 years back. What the Mauryan Empire actually had started the creation of a navy in 328 BC. And then when we look back, we see the Chola Empire, the Srivijaya Empire, the concept of maritime power supporting the economy, known as the virtuous cycle, where the flag, trade follows flag, and it continues in a cyclic sort of motion. The oceans remain a means of communication, transportation, communion, and spread of ideas. As far as transportation is concerned, it remains the most efficient means of transportation. For the same amount of energy, you can transport 250 kgs by road on wheels, 2,500 kgs by rail, and 25,000 kgs by sea. So it is a ratio of 1:10:100 when you transport things by sea. So as far as transportation efficiency is concerned, unless something like the quantum transportation where you can instantaneously transport something in huge volumes, I don't see anything changing in the near future with regard to efficiency of transportation. So transportation by sea is going to remain there for a long, long time as one of the most cheapest and most efficient means of transportation. But there's a paradox. In the 14th century, for every ton of shipping, we required one man to man it. By about 16th century, it became one man for 4 tons of shipping. By the 20th century, it was about one man for about 2,000 tons of shipping. And today, it is one man for about 20,000 tons of shipping. So that is the number of people, what I'm trying to say is the number of people putting to sea or having contact with the sea is reducing drastically. This is happening even while our dependence on the sea is increasing. Why? Because as resources deplete on land, you go towards the sea to, for resources. Fuel, proteins, fish, all sorts of minerals, everything we get from the sea. And as Kori Shaka had said, he talked of the 66, 70, 80, 90, 99 rule, which means 66% of the natural resources come from in and around the sea. 70% of the globe is water, just like the human body. 80% of the people are coastal. That means they live within about 200 miles of the coast. And 90% of the trade comes by sea. And 99% of the internet traffic goes through the sea. The internet or data is actually not in the cloud. It is actually under the sea. It passes through the sea. So the importance of the sea is only increasing. But at the same time, as I said, the number of people going to sea and being aware of the sea is reducing. So it's a paradox. So, while we had a rich legacy, somewhere in the last millennia, we lost sight of it. We became land-centric. We started looking towards the land. In fact, Emperor Akbar is reported to have seen the sea only once in his lifetime when he went to the Gulf of Kambat, and he was astonished to see it. So, we gradually forgot about the sea and the great maritime tradition we had. And as a result, we were conquered by the Europeans. The British East India Company came in 1680. At that point of time, India had contributed to 27% of the global GDP. When they left in 1947, they had reduced it to 3%. So, what I mean to say is a sort of sea blindness had set in. And it had taken a lot of effort, writings by various eminent scholars, etc. And today, I must say that the national leadership is much aware of the importance of the oceans. We are moving from sea blindness to maritime consciousness. And subsequently, it requires maritime thought, so that we need to awaken the maritime Indian in each and every one of us. Today we are the fifth largest economy. We're slated to become the third largest economy or second largest economy by 2047 or somewhere in that region. What does that imply? That implies that so much more of trade, maybe 3 times, 4 times, 10 times what we do today will happen. And when that happens, how does it go? It will go through the sea. So therefore, the importance of the ocean and the ability to carry out free trade in a safe and secure manner, that is the underlying factor as far as our growth as a nation is concerned. At the same time, you must remember the sea is a very demanding domain. We just had to see the examples of the 2 ship incidents which we had today in the recent past off the coast of Kerala. The one, which capsized and sank, and the other which caught fire. So this risk or danger is always there, ever present. And the sea as a domain is actually a difficult domain, ungovernable. It cannot be managed it cannot be regulated. As you go away from the coast, the degree of difficulty keeps increasing. So while there is port state control, flag state control, etc., all this actually pales into significance as you move away and away from the coast. So, therefore, how do we tackle it? So this is where the maritime forces come in. So I'll talk of the Indian Navy. Primarily, the Indian Navy looks after the maritime interests, national interests in the maritime domain of Bharat. So, what does it do? It protects, preserves, promotes, and pursues our national interests in the maritime domain. And if you remember the words of Lord John Henry Palmerston, who said in the House of Commons in 1826, he said, "We have no eternal enemies, we have no perpetual allies, but our interests are both eternal and perpetual. And those interests, it's our duty to follow." So the national interests are something which are sacred and which is the task of the Navy to follow. So what does the Navy do? It has got 4 roles. The most important role, of course, is a wartime role. We have adversaries, Pakistan, China, and the constant effort is on to ensure that we maintain the edge required to win at sea. Then, of course, we have the other 3 roles, which are the diplomatic role, the constabulary role, or the policing role, and lastly, the benign role, where the Navy comes in to help during national disasters at sea, cyclones, and so on. The, the constant effort, therefore, is to remain professional, remain at sea, deployed, and the biggest challenge you have at sea is the tyranny of distance. That means there is a certain time which is required for a ship to reach from one place to another. So therefore, it requires constant vigil, forward deployed forces, and the ability to respond and taking decisions in good time to act on an input. You may be aware that piracy is one of the biggest challenges that we face at sea. It is age-old. Ever since the first merchant ship set to sail, piracy has been there. But of course, it has been brought under control by navies over a period of time, and it continues to wax and wane. We had the problem of Somalia, the piracy of Somalia, and which has been tackled quite effectively by the Indian Navy. The Indian Navy had taken a very proactive stance in this. We as the Indian Navy, are the largest resident naval force in the Indian Ocean. There are other navies here. At any point of time, you have about 150 to 175 ships, warships operating in the Indian Ocean. But as the Indian Navy, it is our responsibility to ensure that the Indian Ocean remains safe and secure for transportation. So the Navy has been quite effective at ensuring that this is kept under control. Coming to this is what the Navy does. Unfortunately, what the Navy does is rarely seen by the average citizen, and I would say many people in the Navy itself do not know what exactly a ship does when it goes to sea and carries out its mission. So the effort is to try and bring out to you the challenges that are there at sea and the problems that we call as problems without passports. That means there is gun running, there is terrorism and drug running, and a whole lot of illegal activities like this which are conducted through the sea route, and they need to be tackled before they reach the land. So I'll now talk of a few transformational initiatives that we have done in the Navy. I'm reminded of of a quote by Richard D. Haas, the CEO of Levi Strauss, where he said, the equipment that we use, the main difference between the corporations of today and their future counterparts will not be in the equipment that they use or the product that they make, but it will be mainly who will be working for you, how they will be working for you, why they will be working for you, and what work will mean to them. So this is the challenge that we have been seeing, a result of the demographic dividend, I may say, in Bharat. So as a means of harnessing this, we've seen the Agnipath scheme being brought in. The intent of the Honorable Prime Minister was basically like this. In fact, when he was in a conversation, he told us, "Dekhiye, whenever I meet, say, a tourist guide or a driver or somebody somewhere, and he's smartly dressed, he speaks well, I generally ask him, ki aap fauj mein the kya? So, and inevitably the answer is yes. So he says, my idea of a short service for the people in the ranks is so that they serve, they are trained they develop certain habits of discipline, behavior, etc., personality, and so on. And then after 4 years, they leave, and then they are available for industry. So he says this is one way by which we can, provide, better material, better human human resources to the industry. So this was the thought behind it, and it also, for us in the military, it's a major factor towards bringing down the average age of the soldier or sailor. So by the year 2035 or so, the average age would have come down from, the median age would have come down from about 33, which is currently, to almost 26 or 27. So youthful force is what is required for combat. The other change that we brought in was the 360-degree appraisal system, which we brought into the Navy, and now I understand the Army is also, adopting it. Essentially, in a very hierarchical organization like the military, there is, we have the appraisal report, but the performance appraisal report only tells you as to what he has done or what somebody has got, what work he's got done. It doesn't tell you how he's got it done. So I am more interested in knowing also as to how has he got it done. What type of leader was he? Was he a toxic leader? So we introduced this. It's been in force for about 2.5 years now, and we find that it is working well. It really gives you some insight which is not available earlier. The third important transformational change we brought in was the introduction of women. Earlier, women were there being inducted, but they were being inducted in specific cadres or sub-cadres in the, in the officers, as officers. We have now opened all ranks, all roles for women, starting with the Navy, and now the other two services are also likely to follow suit. The bottom line is that we look at the capability. They should be able to do the job, and if you are competent, then you can be a part of the Navy. The fourth thing, transformational change we had brought in was the removal of colonial mindsets. The Navy, having been sort of a follow-on from the Royal Navy, had retained many of the colonial vestiges, and we put in considerable effort to ensure that many of those things are removed, and our rich maritime heritage is brought to the fore. The last thing I want to talk of is Atmanirbharta in defense. This is a commitment which I had given to the national leadership during my time as the Navy Chief, that by 2047, 100 years of independence, Indian Navy will be an Atmanirbhar force. We had started this journey long back, thanks to the efforts of our predecessors, my predecessors. The 1960s, we had the first patrol craft made in India, Ajay. And since then, we have been building bigger and bigger ships. And today, you're aware that in 2022, we had commissioned the Vikrant, which was built here in Cochin. Matter of great pride for not just the nation, for, and it brought laurels for us in the international naval circles as well. The effort, therefore, is to build the Navy here. It's not a buyer's Navy anymore, it's a builder's Navy. As of today, I can say that out of 60 ships under construction, there is only one ship which is being built in Russia. And hereafter, no more ships are going to be built in Russia, built anywhere else. So, we will have our own ships, submarines, aircraft, drones, whatever technology, sensors, weapons, etc., everything will be built in India. So it is very much possible. We have incubation centers. We have very close linkages with the DRDO and the industry. Navy particularly has been engaging with the defense industry, with the private partners, etc., to ensure that we get what we want. Over 310 items or equipment have been brought to the indigenization list. That means they will not be imported at all. And these are orders, probably worth about 4,50,000 crores. I mean, that's the type of figures that we are looking at when we finally manufacture and, induct them. A lot of engagement through incubation centers with academic institutions like the IITs, etc. All that is happening. Regular engagement with the industry is happening as well. So, as Bharat grows and we seek our rightful place in the Committee of Nations, I think we need to have a very strong armed force which is capable of ensuring that our national interests are protected. As Thucydides says, the strong do what they want while the weak suffer what they must. So we don't have a choice, we need to be strong. And I will close here with a quote from Shakespeare in Julius Caesar, where he says that there comes a time in the affairs of men there comes a tide in the affairs of men, which when taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, their fortunes are bound in miseries. On such a high tide, are we now afloat? We must either take it or lose our ventures. Unquote. So I just want to say that the nation is on an ascendancy. Everything is looking good. We need to grab the occasion and, through our enterprise, through our participation, through our talent, through our startups, through our efforts, we need to take the nation forward. Thank you. Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Admiral, for that inspiring address. Now it is our privilege to welcome our guest of honor, an officer, thinker, and entrepreneur, Mr. Rajan Singh, former IPS officer. To introduce the guest of honor, may I invite Dr. Anil Joseph, Honorary Treasurer.
Good evening, all. Respected President Harikumar, dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and my fellow KMA members. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our distinguished guest of honor today, Mr. Rajan Singh, a man whose life journey can only be described as extraordinary, adventurous, and deeply inspiring. Rajan Singh is the founder of HabitStrong, a startup dedicated to helping individuals and organizations build focus, productivity, digital well-being, and mental resilience capabilities that are more critical now than ever before. Through HabitStrong, he is on a mission to make focus a competitive advantage in today's hyper-distracted world. An alumnus of IIT Kanpur, where he studied electrical engineering, Rajan humorously admits that after 4 years of wrestling with current and voltage, he decided to pursue something little more electrifying. The search for adventure led him to Indian Police Service, where at the young age of 28, he served as the Commissioner of Police in Trivandrum, Kerala. He was the one of the youngest and the longest serving officers in that role, a chapter he remembers fondly despite his ongoing battle with coconut oil in Kerala cuisine. Not one to stay still for too long, Rajan soon took another leap, this time into the world of business. He earned his MBA from the prestigious Wharton School, graduating as a Palmer Scholar, a distinction awarded to the top 5% of the class. With a newfound fluency in business jargon, Rajan joined McKinsey and Company in New York, helping global leaders in banking, insurance, and healthcare, despite, as he puts it, having zero corporate experience himself. From there, his journey meandered through private equity as an investor with New Silk Road, a $1 billion Asia-focused fund, but was in entrepreneurship that Rajan has found his true calling. Please join me in welcoming a trailblazer, a thought leader, and a true seeker of meaning and impact, Mr. Rajan Singh. Welcome, sir, to this audience.
Please join me in welcoming Mr. Rajan Singh to share his thoughts and perspectives with us.
Good evening, everyone. Respected Admiral Harikumar, sir, KMA President, distinguished folks here in the hall. I came here today afternoon from Bangalore. And though I live in Trivandrum, I spend almost half my time in Bangalore these days. And what I do there is I'm helping a company. It's a global, one of the big name multinational corporations. They have a very large workforce. And the CEO, once we met in I was giving a talk, and then he said that, can you help us? So I said, what's the problem? So he said, we have two problems. We have too many meetings and we have too many emails. I just don't have time. So can you help me? So I said, look, your problem is not meetings or emails. Your problem is how you're doing your work. So I can help you, but it's going to take time. And so then we started a 1-year kind of consulting engagement, and I'm helping them figure out this problem of how to make them more productive, how to get work done. So here's what happened. So I landed there, and a couple of weeks ago, I started talking to some of the youngsters. So these are guys who would be mid-20s, early 30s, and they are among these mostly chartered accountants, engineers, MBAs, and so on. And I spoke to about a dozen plus, and I asked them, what are they doing? How is it going? What are they struggling with? And they all had only one problem. They don't want promotion. They don't want greater salary. They would love it, right? But that's not what they're seeking. They are saying, look, my day starts at 8:30 a.m. in the morning. It ends at 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11, 12, and then next day morning again, this is repeated. And there was one person, a Malayali boy. He said that I'm some 27, 28, and I'm already taking medicines for, I'm forgetting some hormonal imbalance and thyroid and back pain and this and that. And everybody I spoke to, they were looking so dejected. At the age of 25, 28 to 30, they were looking half dead. Why? Because they're not getting sleep. Today's topic is purpose, people, planet, and what is the fourth one? Profit. Right? So let's talk about purpose. So these people, you know what their purpose was? To get more sleep. That's all they wanted. Everybody I speak to, they would ask me, sir, can we cut down work hours? Can we and by the way, we have this impression today that the Gen Z doesn't want to work, and maybe there is some truth for some people, but here this is not the case. And by the way, I'm just talking about one corporation, the place where I go to. This is in Bangalore. There are these multiple locations which are centers for different industries. So this is Outer Ring Road. Some of you might be familiar. So they have literally millions of people working there in offshore centers, earning a lot of money for those corporations, for the government, for employees. It's a great thing. But this is the problem. The work hours are just completely out of control. Now, when people are working those long work hours, naturally they do not feel very attached to the company or their mission or whatever. They just want to somehow get their salary and get some sleep. And so the first thing, purpose is out of question. So then, okay, maybe purpose is not there, but at least profit is there. The company is making profit. Let's examine that hypothesis. Why does it take 12, 14, 16 hours at work? Now, I want to dissect this question. Obviously, it's a complicated question. The answer is not same for every company, but let's just look at the big picture. Right? I have spoken to, I run HabitStrong, where we try to solve some of these problems, and over the last few years, I've spoken to dozens and dozens of people. We have collected data from, if not thousands, at least more than 500 people. And one thing we found is that the moment somebody reaches middle management or some kind of management, then this thing starts which is called meetings. And then the higher you go, the more and more meetings, and now there's a phenomenon called back-to-back meetings. In fact, in this company and lots of corporations, once you get to a certain level, then your calendar is essentially colored like chock-a-block, meetings. Now, I'm not saying in meetings no work happens. That's not my claim. But it's worth asking, in knowledge work, okay? And let me clarify what I mean by knowledge work. So, work which creates value can be broadly classified into two categories. So, let us say somebody is doing physical work, so manual labor, I'm running a workshop, or I'm maybe running a milling machine. That's physical work, right? Now, there are some types of work which look like white-collar work. So, as an example, I'm running a call center. That also is not knowledge work because I'm just doing a mechanical work. I'm just doing the same thing repeatedly. But knowledge work is where I am creating value. I'm creating value by thinking, by problem solving, by connecting the dots, by using my creativity. And all the folks, all of you in this room, you do knowledge work. And your middle management, they do knowledge work. Because we have to think. We are not mechanical robots, right? Now it turns out that in knowledge work, the highest value is not created by sending lots of emails. In fact, all of you could ask yourself this question: how many emails have you sent over the last 6 months? And today, how much value do you think you are getting from all those emails? Not much, really. Same thing goes for meetings. Then the question becomes, what is it? What is it that, is there a metric? Is there a metric to measure what is creating value in knowledge work? Now, while this question has not been answered academically or in a very rigorous manner, but there is a thumb rule. When we do deep focused work, roughly the quantum of deep focused work is proportional to the amount of value created, roughly. This is again a rule of thumb. We can't prove it, but this is what a lot of people believe, right? Now, let's step back. Let's become less theoretical, right? So now what's happening is, with all these meetings going on, people are sitting in those meetings the whole day, and the way these meetings typically run, and again, all kinds of meetings happen, but essentially, say, I have a problem in my company. I don't know what to do. So I'll say, oh, you know what? Let's have a meeting. When you're confused, let's have a meeting. Some revenue going down, let's have a meeting. And then you also come. What's the downside? Let everybody come. So then it becomes like a Mera, people come, and nowadays with Teams and Slack and all that, meetings are not even like physically happening. So it's online. 70% people have their cameras off. You have no idea what they're doing. And I can tell you, if you have more than 6-7 people in a meeting, I'll give it in writing, guarantee it. If you have more than 6-7 people, they will start checking emails. It's very hard to stay engaged. So we are doing all these meetings. People are sitting and doing some random emails. And this is how the whole day goes. Now think about the amount of waste. We are hiring such expensive resources in all these corporations. These are people who are MBA, BTech, and they have lots of these degrees, and they have so much potential. And then we make them sit in meetings the whole day. And then whatever little time is left, email, messages, WhatsApp, this is how, I'm not exaggerating, this is how a lot of our time is going down the drain. That brings us to profit. So now, if I'm not using if I'm a middle manager, I'm a senior manager, if I'm not using my time optimally, I'm not really thinking. In fact, my current client, one of the things he told me is that I don't want to be the only person thinking about strategy. I want my top leadership to think about what's coming next. The role of a leader is not to solve the problem in front of you. That anybody can do. The role of a leader is to anticipate the problem which has not showed up yet. It will show up in the future. You have to anticipate. And for you to be able to think and connect the dots and anticipate, you need a quiet mind. You need peace. If all the time email, messages, ping pong, if there is constant chaos, human mind cannot think. In fact, when I ask this question to even very senior people, like, so when do you get like real work done? Like important stuff. So they'll say, I come to office very early before people come and I'll get something done, or I'll stay late, or I'll do on weekends. So essentially, the real work is happening in hiding. And during actual office work, we are playing this email ping pong and meetings and all this, what I like to call fake work. Now, you might say, no, that's not true. Like, some meetings have value. Yes, meetings are you. So I'm not saying we should stop these things. I'm sorry. There is value in these things, but this is all we are doing, and we need to find that balance. If we don't do that, then I can tell you one thing. The amount of, you show me any knowledge corporation, any company where knowledge work is happening, if you can either make do with half those people, or you can get dramatically greater value. By the way, when we say this word value, I know I have not defined it really well. It's kind of hard to define it mathematically. But here is one thing I can tell you, which is that if I'm working, the number of tasks I do has got very little to do with actual value. I could be doing some dumb, stupid things, answering 25 emails, this and that, versus like, I think about one major problem that my people have been facing for months and years. I'll give you a real example. I was just helping one tech company on a friendly basis, and I was talking to one of their leaders, like not the senior most guy. He was one of the architects, technical guy. I told him, look, if you had time, I know right now you don't have time. You start your day, then daily stand-up call, this, that, the whole day just goes by. But if you had time, what would you like to do? You know what he said? He said, there is this one particular problem for which we struggle every day, and I can write a piece of software which will solve that problem. I said, how long will it take? He said, 2 weeks. And I said, since when have you been thinking? I said, thinking for the last 6 months. And I said, at this rate, when will you do it? He said, no, it won't happen. Think about it. If he invests 2 weeks, he will solve one problem which bugs them every single day, and yet he will never be able to find time for that. And then we have to work through that and cut time out. The bigger point I'm making is that if we are staying constantly busy, it is like that drug which makes us feel, I'm doing something. Waste of time, most of it. And the proof of that is, if this was actually valuable, if something is valuable, then if you double it, the value should double. So if you double the number of emails you sent over the last 1 year, would the value double for your company? I highly doubt it. Right? Double the number of meetings? Same answer. It's not just about value, it's got this whole culture where people are constantly busy and doing these random things, staying late nights. It does immense harm. I'll give you one simple example. I used to work in McKinsey. McKinsey is one of those like your special forces, your Marcos, right? So McKinsey is like the Marcos of corporate world, right? So one of the hardest jobs, you start in the morning and every day, hours is one thing, every day it feels like it's a final exam. You just want to survive that one day. Even in that job, right? And they hire the brightest, so you'll have the MBAs and PhDs from Stanford and Harvard and Pennsylvania and Wharton, all these places. And work hours are very long. The question is, okay, so if people are there for 12, 16 hours, what are they doing? They work, but by the time it's like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, your brain is like not really active. It's around 7 p.m., 7:30. You're sort of hovering around, maybe, okay, now it's dinner time. Then after dinner, you have chit-chat. Then you get serious at around 9 o'clock, maybe work for another 2 hours. By the time it's 11, now you feel like, okay, I have earned the right to go home, or maybe you work a bit more. But the fact is, once your mind is exhausted, really not that much quality thinking happens. Marx talked about alienation of labor. Not now, during the Industrial Revolution. If you just, we were not there, but if you just go back to that time when these factories started in England and in Europe, before that, if I was a worker, I am making a product, I can see, I can feel it, I know that my work has some value. When they created all these like industrial manufacturing facilities, conveyor belts and all of that, then every worker could not, they are just, my job is to put a nut, so I'll screw it one, second, third, I'll just keep repeating. I don't see the value of my work. So he said there's something which happens which is called alienation of labor. The person feels alienated from the work. I don't even know what I'm doing. You know what's happening right now? With all these meetings and all this digital chaos, today the knowledge worker is feeling alienated from their work. They don't care. In fact, there are studies done. In fact, PwC released a report just like a couple of days or weeks ago. 75% people feel disengaged with their work. They don't care. 70% managers feel they don't care, disengaged. Now, this may look like, okay, just a number. No, it's a problem. It's a problem because these people, if they do not care, they are not solving a real problem. They're just sitting and warming the chair, and they are drawing massive salaries. When Elon Musk took over Twitter, you know what he did? I do not, I'm not making political statements. I do not endorse the person, nor do I like him. But one thing is worth noticing. When he took over Twitter, he fired about 2/3 of the workforce. It's public knowledge. What happened to Twitter? Nothing happened. It's still running, perfectly fine. Whatever problems they had because of his behavior, not because of any tech issues. Which means 2/3 of people were sitting there, and without them, the company is working just fine. What the hell were they doing? I have talked to people in Google, not in India, in Google in the US. A guy who used to be a principal engineer, like a very senior title. He said, meetings happen, people will come, and these are like very smart people hired from the best colleges, and they will come and they'll all chit chat, but work doesn't happen in Google. This is happening in Microsoft India. A product manager told me, I'm working 18 hours a day till 2 a.m. every day. I said, why? For God's sake, what are you doing? We have to talk to this team has to talk to that team. This chit chat, cross talk, email and messages and this and that, all this is happening. The one thing that's not happening is focused work. Now, I'm not claiming that we have to be focused all the time. I'm not saying we should stop talking, we should not do collaboration. No, none of that. But we also need time for people, especially for managers and leaders, to cut out that noise and have some time where you sit and think and solve big problems, figure things out, and everybody has to do that. And if you cut out this, today all these youngsters, forget youngsters, even mid-level people in these companies, they are scared not to check their email every 5-7 minutes or 10 minutes. If they don't check email, something will happen. What will happen? Nothing will happen. It's all in the mind. It's a disease. So when you keep checking your email every 5 minutes or then check your Slack and check your WhatsApp, what happens? The fourth thing, that profit, it goes down because nobody's thinking. We are just doing random activity. You know what? Have you heard of Brownian motion? Random motion which produces now no outcome. So people are gone, the purpose is gone, profit is gone, so naturally people feel alienated, people are also gone. Planet, let's leave it out for now. Right? This is a problem. Today, knowledge work is hopelessly mismanaged. And what is the reason for this? I'll just very briefly give you the reason. Here is why this is happening. When these new tools for communication were designed, like email, Slack, WhatsApp, etc., nobody consciously thought about how to use this tool. How will I use it in my workplace? And I'll give you a story. IBM first started using email somewhere in 1980s, early 1980s, way before all of us, we heard about email. So here's what they did. In the IBM office in the US, they had like some 800 people or whatever, one part of the office. So they said, okay, we will all now switch to this magical new technology called email. They set up new servers, planned everything, and they evaluated, okay, we need to set up servers, so we need to have a sense of how much will the load be on the servers. So they said, okay, all these people, just find out how much are they communicating. Like, I'm sending you a written memo, let's count that. You send somebody else a communication, count that. So total amount of communication that is happening, calculate that, and set up server which can handle that capacity. And then one fine Monday morning, the servers go on, and now people can send emails. Can you guess what happened? Servers crashed. Why? Because the volume of communication was 5 times what was happening on paper. Think about it. Right? Why was that? Because email is so much easier. There's no friction. If I have to walk to a colleague's desk, like from here to there, walk and say, hey, can you get this thing done for me? Naturally, I'm putting in some effort. Now, when it's email, there is no effort. So I'm doing 5 times, I'm communicating 5 times more. Now, here's the thing. We think all our emails are important. Everything is important. Even in those days, at least 80% of that email communication was logically unimportant, because if it was important enough, I would have walked to my colleague's desk and said, hey, dude, can you get this done for me? Now, this is 1980. Since then, the amount of communication has gone up like another 20, 30, 50, 100 times. God knows how much. Most of your email is not urgent. But when you go into your inbox, you will see one email, you will see 20 other things. You'll get caught up in this, something which seems important. Whole day will go in firefighting, the day will go waste. And then next day you will say, tomorrow I'm going to change it. And then the cycle repeats. And this is the state of knowledge work in India today. In the world, not India, globally, this is what is happening. So, people, profit, purpose, all gone for a toss. How do you fix it? The fix is simple but not easy. Simple conceptually, it's not easy because our work today has become so interdependent. It is so entangled, it's very hard to change these things, but it is possible. So that's what I'm doing for one of my clients right now, but I'll give you a simple, sort of, at least a high-level answer. Number one, you cannot have, no matter what kind of work you do, maybe there'll be some exceptions, of course, unless you're doing like a lot of client meeting, that's different, right? But generally speaking, nobody should be attending more than 2-3 meetings a day. After 2 to 3 hours, your brain doesn't work. Sit in meetings, especially meetings where you're not participating, sitting and looking at that screen for 2-3 hours, your brain blows up. Like there's no creativity left, right? So cut down number of meetings, number one. Number two, email teams, people should, they can use it, that's fine. They should not be required to check every 10, 20, 30 minutes. Give them at least an hour-long break. Or you can check at an interval of 1 hour. If something is super important, pick up the phone and call me. Or find some mechanisms. If today the work is so tightly connected, okay, if I don't respond, then something will happen. Look at why the work is designed that way. Redesign that work. But whatever you do, we cannot keep playing this ping pong. Otherwise, purpose, passion, people, profit, all these things will just go down the drain, right? Planet, I'm guessing planet is in a bad shape anyway, so that won't change. Right? So here's what I want to say before I end this. Most of you are in leadership positions. This is the Kerala Management Association, so your job is to think about management problems. This is one of the most critical problems of our time. There was a time in 60s and 70s when corporations were discussing strategy. I was in McKinsey, BCG, they used to do strategy. Then came the time people say, oh, strategy is fine, strategy is not differentiator, execution matters. You would remember a lot of books and a lot of things came around execution. Today I'm saying strategy is fine, execution is fine. People have to be able to sit and do work. And we have to allow them to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words of wisdom. Let us now take a few moments to exchange pleasantries and tokens of appreciation with our distinguished guests. May I now invite our President, Mr. K. Harikumar, and Honorary Secretary, Mr. Anil K. Varma, and immediate past President, Mr. Bibu Punuran, to present mementos to our Honorable Chief Guest, Admiral K. Harikumar, and Mr. Rajan Singh.
Thank you, sirs. To offer his felicitation and share a few words, I now invite the immediate past president, Mr. Bibu Punuran, to the dais.
President K. Harikumar, Chief Guest of the Day, Admiral R. Harikumar, Mr. Rajan Singh, IPS, our guest of honor, Mr. Anil Verma, our Honorary Secretary, my dear Managing Committee members, members of KMA, invited guests, a warm good evening once again to all of you. First of all, let me congratulate our President, Mr. Harikumar, for having taken over from me as President of this prestigious 67-year-old KMA. And he is going to be our 68th President, and he started to lead. As we all know, as he was introduced, we all know that he has turned around many public sector units into profits. And that's not as easy as anybody thinks, because it's not like being in the private sector. So a man of his caliber can definitely do wonders for KMA in the year to come. I have very closely worked with Hari sir even earlier when he was my president at the Cochin Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And we have done several good projects together, and I was very happy working with him. So, on behalf of KMA and everyone present here, let me once again congratulate you, sir, for having taken over as the president, and to the entire managing committee for standing by him now and in the future too. Now, coming to my year as the president, there is only one thing that I would like to say. A few of us had gone to Surat as part of our innovation experience tour, or the industrial visit, wherein we went to the largest manufacturer of diamonds in the country, the SRK Group, headed by Mr. Govind Dolakia. And very prominently written in his corporate office is this term: I am nothing, but I can do anything. And that, I think, applies to me, or has applied to me throughout this last 1 year. As I stood before you about a year back on the 2nd of June and said that, we have a year to go and we have so many projects or so many programs to do. Of course, the year was well planned, but I could do nothing on my own. And I can only say, I am still nothing, but I can do anything with the help of a team behind me. And that is all what I have done. You have seen the video of what we have done during the last year, so I do not want to repeat anything again. Let me just express my gratitude to all of you sitting here in this hall, all the KMA members, for having turned up in large numbers for all the programs that we have conducted, for having supported us all. But in particular, I would like to congratulate and also thank my managing committee members who have stood by me through thick and thin. That's why I say I am nothing, but I could do everything because of this solid group behind me. I would now request the man who stood by me through everything, the Honorary Secretary, Dr. Anil Joseph, to kindly come forward and receive a token of gratitude. Similarly, as the names of all the managing committee members are called out, I would request all of you to kindly come forward and take a token of our gratitude and appreciation.
May I call upon K. Harikumar. followed by Mr. Algiers Khalid. K. Anil Verma. Mr. Dilip Narayanan. Mr. Deepak Aswani. Ms. Sujata Madhav Chandran. Ms. Lekha Balachandran. Mr. Tom P. Joseph. Past President Vivek Krishna Govind. Past President Dr. Nirmala Lili. Ms. Meena Thomas. Mr. Shaktimani. Mr. Sunil Balakrishnan. We have our chair of KMA Young Minds, Ms. Arati Verma. Secretary Young Minds, Ujjwal Sudish.
I invite Executive Director, Lieutenant Jojo Jacob to accept a token of gratitude. I also invite Manager Operations, Mr. Prajitar Nair.
Thank you all once again. Thank you.
Now it's, kindly stay back. It's time for the release of the last final edition of the KMA News. May I request immediate past President Bipu Punnuran to hand over to our chief guest along with our President K. Harikumar to release the final edition. Thank you, Mr. Bipu Punnuran. May I now invite our President and the dignitaries to give a memento to our immediate past President, Mr. Bipu Punnuran. Now, for a quick photograph, may I now invite the current managing committee members onto the stage for a group photograph.
Thank you all. Now, to present a token of love and affection from the Secretariat team to the outgoing President and Secretary, I invite Lieutenant Jojo Jacob to hand over a sketch drawn by him to President Mr. K. Harikumar, and I request President to present the memento to outgoing President Mr. Bibu Punuran. I also invite the outgoing secretary, Ms. Dr. Anil Joseph, to receive the sketch from Mr. Harikumar. Thank you. As we draw this meaningful ceremony to a close, may I invite Mr. K. Anil Verma, Honorary Secretary of KMA, to deliver the vote of gratitude.
Good evening, President and dignitaries on and off the dais. What a nice evening. And I think the hall is packed, and thank you all for being with us. And first of all, I would like to thank Admiral R. Harikumar for taking us through the seas and oceans and some insight about the sea. Thank you, sir, for being with us and inaugurating the function. And again, Mr. Rajan Singh, for what not? I think you talk about everything and the purpose for peace designed by our President Harikumar sir. Thank you, sir, for being with us and having a nice talk. And our immediate past President, Mr. Bibu Punuran. And you know what happened last year. Thank you, sir, for being here today and for the nice year last year. And of course, our President Harikumar sir, let us see what is going to happen. Best is yet to come. And also thank all the past presidents present here this evening and the managing committee members and the KMA members at this evening for the inauguration of this function. I also would like to acknowledge and thanks for being with us, the young mind members, for being with us this evening. And also the invited guests and other corporate body members and the trade body members, all present here. Thank you for being with us this evening. Also, thanks to the media members, media friends here, and thank you for covering our activities very well in the media every time. And thanks to our MC, Mr. Jojo and Mrs. Arti Verma for the nice comparing. And of course, the Secretariat team led by Jojo and Prajit. Thank you so much for doing everything. Thank you once again to all of you, and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As we bring this memorable evening to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on what we have just witnessed, a seamless passing of torch, a vision of the future, and the reaffirmation of KMA's core values: excellence, integrity, collaboration, and innovation. The 68th year of Kerala Management Association has officially begun. And as we start this inspiring journey, let us keep in mind the essence of our theme for the year: 360-degree management mindset, purpose, people, planet, and profit. This holistic approach challenges us to lead with empathy, act with responsibility, and strive for excellence, not just in performance, but in impact. It urges us to look beyond the bottom line and embrace a mindset that values people, safeguards the planet, stays anchored to the higher purpose, and generate sustainable profit. Let this be our compass as we navigate the future thoughtfully, inclusively, and boldly.
To our outgoing team, thank you for an inspiring and impactful year. To our new president and the dynamic executive and managing committees, we wish you all success as you chart the course ahead. We express our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, Admiral R. Harikumar, and our guest of honor, Mr. Rajan Singh, for gracing us with their wisdom and presence. Your words will surely echo in our minds and inspire actions in the months to come. To every member present here, thank you for being a part of this journey. Your participation, ideas, and enthusiasm are what keep KMA alive and thriving.
Let us continue to stand together, learn together, and lead together, because the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. And with that, I now invite you to proceed for the networking dinner, where we continue our conversations over a delicious spread and build the bonds that power our shared mission. Wishing you a fulfilling year ahead. Good night and thank you.
May I now request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
Janagana mana adhinayaka jaya he Bharat bhagya vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladhi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, and please enjoy the dinner. Let's all meet at the dinner venue, which is just outside the hall.